Has anybody ever said to you, watch your step, watch your step? Wow. The most incredible golf story I've ever heard happened last week when Andrea Paven, the Italian golfer playing on the DP World Tour, punched the elevator button in his hotel. And when the door opened, he stepped in and fell 3 stories. Watch your step. Woo! We're going to talk about things that affect us in golf, things that frighten us, things that get our adrenaline going, and how we can handle them. And tell you a real secret for when you are anxious and nervous and upset, how to hit an excellent golf shot. Stay with us. That's a big story, but watch your step. Paven, playing in South Africa. He was at Cape Town in the hotel, 3rd floor, and careless like many of us are, he punched the button, the door opens, he steps down and falls 3 stories. He didn't die. That's the good news. In fact, he's already had surgery on his back and on his shoulder and seems to be recovering. It'll be a long before he can play golf, but they have set up a GoFundMe site for him. And if you're interested, it's Andrea Paven, Pavan. Woo! And talk about watch your step. What about Shane Lowry? PGA Champions course, bear trap section. He's got a 3-shot lead, just 3 holes to go. What does he do? Bang! Double bogey. How do you recover from that? Wow, we've got so much to talk about to handle all this. Have you ever had a moment on the golf course that frightened you to death? I've seen rattlesnakes. In fact, I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, belong to Ancala Country Club. We've got rabbits and rattlesnakes all over the place. It was just the other day, I was in the 4th hole there right in the middle of the fairway. I looked and that looks like a snake. That looks like a snake. Must be a dead snake. It wasn't dead, but it was a snake and it was a rattler. Wow. But the frightening moment that I had, the most scary moment occurred near Palm Beach, where in fact it was in Palm Beach at High Ridge Country Club. My son-in-law Marshall Carpenter and my daughter Beth Carpenter Kurtz, the pros there for 27 years. I played the golf course an awful lot. They had some brackish water there, water that really doesn't move, and the brackish turned blackish. The 13th hole, a par 5, and playing alone, so I'm hitting a couple of golf balls, and I hooked, hit it good, but the drive a little bit, and it's near this brackish water on the side of the fairway, and I'm looking at the green. Am I going to try to hit it on into? Am I going to lay up? And I'm not noticing. There was this 30-foot gator. Well, maybe he was 10 foot, maybe he's 12 foot. Look, 30 foot. And I just happened before I hit, turn and look, and there he is, just not that far from me. Felt like he's 2 feet away, probably was 10. And all he has is one eye that went looking at me, open up. I just quietly and gingerly got to my golf cart, took a right-hand turn, and just left that hole, left the golf balls there, and went my own way. Wow, I couldn't stop my heart from beating so fast for such a while. Have you ever had an encounter like that? Let me know. Just give a comment. Tell me your story. We'll share it if it's really exciting and fun. I'm enjoying these Iron Man Golfcast, which are different than my YouTube videos, which are really short, concise, and mostly have to do with lessons. As you may or may not know, I hold 7 world records in golf, so I am called Golf's Iron Man. I played 1,850 golf holes in 1 week. I played 500 consecutive holes in 39 hours without stopping. Double marathon just last May for Folds of Honor. What a wonderful organization for the children of our fallen heroes. Gosh, I played 200 holes, a marathon, a double marathon, really, 100 holes right-handed, 100 holes left-handed, shot my age 9 times. So those are some of my records. Incidentally, I'd like to see a Guinness World Record plaque. There it is. That's for most times shooting your age or lower in one day, 7 times. Broke that one. I played it 9 times, but Guinness and I haven't really agreed on that record. Let's talk about fear. You get nervous. Actually, you can feel your adrenaline, feel your heart pumping when maybe it's the club championship or just the member guest and you're standing on the first tee. Maybe they announce your name, maybe they don't. But anyway, there are all these people that are looking at you. What do? How do you play? Got a great story. You know, the tournament coming up this week is Arnold Palmer's tournament at Bay Hill. I've been privileged to play with Arnie. And the first time, I was sportscaster in Denver, Channel 9, having a lot of fun there. And I was invited because I was a fairly good and accomplished golfer at that time to play an exhibition with Arnie and Dow Finsterwall. That was great. I enjoyed it so much, except for one moment, the tee shot. I was the first one who was going to hit. Now, I'd done interviews with Arnie over the years many, many times. I just really, like he was a friend. Everybody who's ever known Arnold Palmer or met him in a moment feels like Arnie is their friend. Greatest sports hero of all times in terms of meeting with people and being gracious to them. But now on the tee, please welcome from Channel 9, Bob Kurtz. Faint smattering of applause. And I stood up there and I'm ready. I teed the ball up and I'm ready to hit. And I made the mistake of looking back and there's Arnie leaning on his driver, just casually. And I go, oh my gosh, I'm playing with Arnold Palmer. And I went, phew. World's fastest golf swing. It was so fast that I just swung down on it, locked my wrist, popped the ball straight up left, hit it about 160 yards maybe. And there was an open area to the left. I swear to this day, nobody saw that ball except my caddy. And I said, you see it? He says, yes, I saw it. Meanwhile, the people are going, I swung, bang, ball goes. They go, kind of uncertain applause. I said to my caddy, I said, how far is it? He said, 160 yards, something like that. He says, so we walk down the center of the fairway. Arnie is hit, Fensterwall is hit. We're walking, all of us together, down the center of the fairway. And I said, well, you just tell me when we're parallel to that ball. I said, can you see the ball? Yeah, it's sitting there pretty good. Okay, just give me a 5-iron. It's maybe more than that. I don't care. Just give me a 5-iron. He gave me a 5-iron. And we're walking. I hung a left. Ran over there to the ball. Bang! Hit it back into play. I swear to this day, nobody ever saw me. Because all they were doing was watching Arnold Palmer. What fun that was. I remember on the 5th hole, par 5. And Dave Hill, the great Dave Hill was playing with us, with Finsterwall. Dave Hill was a big fan of Arnold. And there was a pond in front of this elevated green. And Palmer had hit the longest drive, of course. And he's standing there. And he's never played the course before. It's par 5. And there's a pond. And then there's an elevated green. And Palmer says, Dave, what should I lay up? Hill says, lay up? You're Arnold Palmer. Go for it. So Arnie hitches up his trousers like he always did his waggle, did that Arnold Palmer had, and the ball. And I swear it didn't make it more than 1.5 feet onto the green, but it hits. And the people, 15,000 of them, were screaming like crazy, like he just won another Masters championship. What a guy, Arnold Palmer. But I thought about that. I was so nervous and everything, and I'm a low-key kind of a guy in competition. My heart rate goes down. So I don't have, played high school basketball, college, so you learn how to shoot free throws. In fact, I've always said the closest thing to hitting a T-ball is to shoot a free throw when it's a technical foul. They clear everybody out and you have to shoot that free throw. Well, then you got to learn to breathe and flip it in. So, what's the secret? Under pressure. Look at Shane Lowry. He got under pressure. What happened to him? He got quick. That's what happens. You get fast. You take it away fast, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to dive forward. You've got to slow down. Years ago, I was privileged to be invited by President, this is a long time ago. You young guys, you got to bear with me. It was so long ago that the President of the United States was Gerald Ford. So I'm invited to play in Gerald Ford's golf tournament in Vail, Colorado. And my partner was a fellow named Bruce Crampton. You may or may not remember the name. He was a big Aussie, could hit the ball great. Great ball striker, not that great a short game, but was a top 5 player for several years. Crampton, we played a practice round, and I'm swinging a little quick. And he told me something I've always remembered. He said, whenever I go to a big tournament, I get up in the morning, I do everything in slow motion. Brush my teeth in slow motion. I guess that was fast. Do. Brush my teeth and coffee slow. Probably you shouldn't even have coffee if you've got a big match coming up. I drive slow. Drives everybody crazy. Get to the golf course. I warm up in slow motion. Crampton told me to try that. Next day, did the same thing. Brushed my teeth in slow motion. Moved in slow motion. Drove very slow to the golf course. Got there. I want to tell you this. We just kept hitting wedges, 9 irons, 7 irons, 5 irons. Pretty soon you're turning bigger and bigger. But it's smooth. There was a sign up there. I'll always remember this, 250 yards. And I was standing there by Crampton. I'm in his swing tempo. It's the best I've ever hit the ball in my entire 80 plus years. It was like, you could say, do I want to hit the 2 or the 5, or maybe I'll hit the middle of the 0 with 1 irons. Never had that feeling before or since, but maybe I've never really slowed down. 2 great secrets. Slow it down and keep that head in place. Don't let that head move forward. Moves forward, you are dead. Head in place and move slow. Until you hit the ball, and then you hit the daylights out of it. But slow back swing, just breathe. That'll help you more than anything. Shane Lowry forgot that. He just hit terrible shots under pressure. He said he was thinking about his little daughter and sharing victory with her, and he got ahead of himself. Stay in the moment. Stay where your feet are. So I've got to give it to Shane Lowry. Don't you? What a stand-up guy. My goodness. He met the press. He sat there and answered their questions. And he was honest. And he shared with them. Man, I've got a lot of respect for that guy. Oh, incidentally, I picked him to win. If you watched last week's Iron Man Golfcast, Shane Lowry was my favorite. Came that close. This week, as I said, they're playing at Arnie's tournament, Bay Hill. And you've got all the guys there. Incidentally, Brooks Koepka is not there, despite that's in his area. You know, he's from Palm Beach and just got to go up the road a couple hours to Orlando and Bay Hill, but he's not playing. Didn't he play great over the weekend? Starting to really come around. He'll be wonderful for the tour. Be playing there, but why isn't he playing in Arnold Palmer's tournament? Does he have a thing against Arnie's legacy or thing? No, of course not. Like everybody else, he loved Arnie. He's not eligible. Doesn't have enough points in the signature events. But don't worry, he's going to be all right. He played well. He's got too much talent, much grit, too much experience in winning majors not to be a factor in the upcoming Masters, the U.S. Open, etc. Isn't this a great time of year? We've got Arnie's tournament, and then we have the TPC at Sawgrass just a couple weeks, and then right after that, the Masters. So we're going to talk about our favorites. So let's talk about Arnie's tournament. Got to hit it long and putt well. That's what else is there in golf, right? Hit it long, hit it straight, and putt well. Well, maybe hit crisp irons. But Scotty and Rory are the 2 favorites. How can you pick against them? Especially if Scotty Scheffler decides that he's going to settle down and focus in the opening round. If he has a 65 or 66 in the opening round, this tournament is over. It's done. Rory's always a favorite because he's such a great ball striker. Hasn't had great putting, but he's due. And Always plays well at Arnie's tournament. But you guess who I'm going to pick? Shane Lowry. It seems like if you come that close, should have won and didn't. Let's see what happens Sunday evening when Arnie's tournament finishes and Arnie's grandson, Sam Saunders, walks up there and congratulates the winner. We miss Arnold Palmer. What a great gift to the game. But Arnie, hats off to you. I've always told this story that when I covered the tour for a quarter of a century, I have a lifetime media badge from the tour. But I left the tour to work and to do my charity work and etc., to reach out to people, help people. I got 2 letters, one from Larry Nelson, but I got one from Arnold Palmer. I have it framed. And he says, of all the things you've ever done, this is the best. I'm proud of you. Signed Arnie. Woo! No wonder I've got that framed and here among my collectibles. Thank you for joining us on the Iron Man Golfcast. We'll see you again next week with our picks, with our previews, with our look back at what happens. And remember,